Roxanne paced her green room, ears flicking in her hair. Purple-gray tail flickering with anxiety, seashell-colored tip wavering like smoke behind her. Dark raisin hair blowing in the subtle breeze, cast down from the fan above. Roxanne's golden honey eyes cast their colored light onto the furniture in her new green room, and the magenta stripes on her removable leg warmers illuminated the lavender rug below her. She felt trapped by all of the different plushies that cluttered her room. On the wall was a cartoonish image of her with her guitar. It looked so much happier than she felt. It grinned down at her, and she frowned at it. She adjusted her ripped shorts, realigning the belt. And she was chewing at her wrists. Again. She had begun chewing them to avoid harming anything around her or ruining her furniture, but it had become a habit. Why am I like this? She didn't understand what was wrong with her, and there had to be something. Forcing herself to regulate her breathing, she began taking deep breaths. Breathe slowly, slowly, slowly. She fidgeted as she paced her small room, acid green nails grazing the surfaces of her arms. Vineyard Passage, she recalled from a profile on the Fazbear Entertainment Delivery Service app. She had always found it to be an annoying title. Roxanne jumped at the sudden sound, her cloud-colored paws jumping off the ground for a moment. Biting her bottom lip, her canines began to impale her rubbery lips. "Annie?" Chica's, Chi-Chi's, soft voice called from the other side of the iron door. Roxanne felt herself let out a pent-up breath. "Can I come in, Rox?" "Of course, Chica," Roxanne smiled. The pastel-toned chicken entered, her feathered ponytail bobbing a little with each energetic step. Her muted yellow-orange beak twisted into an ecstatic grin. She looked into Roxanne's eyes with her violet ones, her excitement giving way to concern. Roxanne hated ruining Chica's mood like this, and she did it all too often. "Roxy, what's wrong? I can read you like an open book, you know." Roxanne smiled timidly. She knew that, of course, but that didn't make it any easier to talk about. But this was Chi-Chi. She knew she could tell her anything, and Chica wouldn't judge her. So she took in a deep breath and began spilling her thoughts out. "I'm supposed to be the backup singer and the guitarist for our band, and it's put on me, and I suck on everything I do. Like, why would they entrust me, of all the incompetent idiots? Me? I'm going to fumble the solo tonight, and I know that it's Starburst. I understand that you think you're going to mess up, but trust me when I say this. If you think you're going to fumble this, I can confidently say that you're incorrect." Roxanne caught herself laughing. Chica's a miracle worker, she grinned to herself. "I appreciate the kindness, Chi-Chi, but it's not that simple." "Roxanne Foxtrot, quit the negative attitude. You're going to absolutely own it," Chica chirped energetically, her near-white pink feathers fluttering beneath the subtle wind blowing through Roxanne's green room. Her smile lit the whole room up. Roxanne sighed, but not without a smile of her own. "All right, I'll do my best," she verified, "and I won't doubt my ability." "Animatronics on in 5, a heavy, grumbling voice called over the speakers mounted in the corners of the green room. Roxanne playfully groaned, getting a giggle out of Chica. "All right, let's get out there," she cheered. Roxanne's dark raisin-colored hair and tail flickered behind her from their constant movement and the old fluorescent lights above. Though it was the Mega Pizzaplex's grand opening, the place had reused an old mall from the 80s, which inspired most of the aesthetics. Neon lights flashing on the dark walls, flickering posters decorating them, and even the trash the staff will have to clean up reflected the neon colors. Look at all the colors, she told herself. Distract yourself from the crowd. As Roxanne and Chica walked the hallway, Roxanne repeatedly found herself glancing over at Chica. Dark raisin and pastel pink jacket, carmine orange pastel green undertones. Before Roxanne knew it, she and Chica were out in the midst of the stage entrance, a segment below the stage that led up to the riser that would bring them into their show. Roxanne noticed her friends and felt herself beam. Bonnie Burrows, a French periwinkle rabbit with a Tyrian and lavender midnight purple curls surrounding her head. She wore a carmine dress with white accents. Next to her was Freddie Fazbear, a large orange bear with round ears and a small piece of molded hair on his forehead, and electric blue and carmine decorating him. His blazer was electric blue, his bow tie was carmine. His top hat was the one with the carmine ribbon, and he had his black slacks on. He also wore a few accessories on top of those. But there was someone missing. Does anyone know where? Bonnie had begun to mutter, trying to be quiet so as not to disturb the managers lurking around the corners. I'm here! A tired, panting voice called. Foxy, come on, you're going to make us late. Roxanne rushed her brother, a muted red fox with a short ginger hair, a blue dress shirt, and a carmine and black jacket on. They had all decided to wear their carmine-themed stage wear. They planned on coordinating their outfits for performances. Roxanne wore her carmine jacket, white t-shirt, and black studded belt. She thought they had all picked nice clothes to wear. Despite their obvious break from the uniformity of the rest of her outfit, she liked her leg and arm warmers, though, since they hid her, even if only partially, from the harsh gazes of the audience, criticizing her every move. Roxanne fist-bumped Foxy. Chica high-fived Bonnie. Bonnie and Freddie exchanged a loving look. Chica and Roxanne brushed their hands together. Roxanne and Freddie exchanged a nod. What might have appeared as a series of silly movements was actually silent communication between the animatronics to convey their emotions. We got this. Let's do this. You're going to do great. We're in this together. I believe in you, Roxy. Freddie's faith was enough to give Roxanne the confidence she needed to go on stage. As it rose, Roxanne felt herself tune out the world, playing her guitar in time with the song. The cheers were a faint ringing, and the music and Freddie's singing were a gentle hum. As her solo began to approach, everything slowly faded back into her ears. They were both flickering with anticipation and anxiety. Every note in her ears cued her in on her timing, and she was counting. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1. 1 and 2 and 3 and 2. 1 and 2 and 3 and 3 and... Roxanne took a deep breath as she opened her mouth to sing. The 5 animatronics curled up within a nook of space in Parts and Services, giggling like teenage girls at a sleepover, slightly obscured for many technicians that may wander in. Roxanne was hugging a pillow as the others gushed on about their amazing days. They all seemed so happy. I loved baking with the little starbursts, Chica grinned, energetic stones spilling out of her pale ochre and flax beak. They were all so sweet and good. They did a great job, and the time with them in the meet and greet was delightful. Roxanne could tell that Chica couldn't be prouder. She rambled on, and Roxanne took in every word and the emotion Chica put behind them. It made Roxanne feel a bit better. I loved taking them on rides on the log flume, Foxy began. So many kids had so much to say, and some even got to learn a bit. I love teaching the little pups. Kids, Bonnie teased. They aren't dogs or foxes, hun. Foxy laughed at her comment. It was an inside joke between them. Once they had both been rented out for a birthday party. One of the parents there was a know-it-all and kept correcting them on things. Apparently she had called everyone hun. And apparently she had had major automatonophobia ever since she was a child. Apparently she had had a traumatic experience with a stop-motion horror movie. Roxanne loved to see them all having so much fun. She caught herself go to chew on her wrists and stopped herself. Bad Roxy, she scolded herself. You're not supposed to be chewing on your wrists anymore. This is why they wanted to put you in a collar. She bit back a sigh and continued to listen to the others as they spoke. There were tales of sweet treats and greedy kids, of bullies and fans, and many other wonderful things. What about you, sis? Roxanne was pulled out of her silence when her brother invited her to join the conversation. She felt their soft gazes shift to her. Normally it would make her uncomfortable, but the people who were watching were the only ones she was fine with watching her. But right then it didn't matter. The words were what she was afraid of. Well, there were a lot of kids and fans who wanted to meet me. They were all so sweet, and I had a lot of fun playing with the little rock stars all day. She dismissed, attempting to remove the attention from herself. They did a good job in sheriff tag. Foxy nodded. He had been there for that. The others understood that she didn't like to talk too much, so they didn't try to get anything more out of her, and she was grateful. Roxanne really didn't want to talk about her day. Roxanne, wearing her brown bell-bottoms, white t-shirt, and brown and gold jacket, grinned as she played sheriff tags with the kids. Writhing and curling around obstacles like a graceful snake, she held her dart gun, which had foam darts in it, to avoid injuring anyone. Fazbear Entertainment didn't need any more lawsuits. Most of the kids were giggling and laughing and grinning, but, programmed to notice these things, Roxanne noticed a young boy in the back crying as two older ones bullied him. "You dumb little brat," one of the boys hissed. "Can't even pick up the dart gun." They all cackled like something out of a kid's nightmare, and Roxanne bit her lip as she approached them, scolding them for their behavior. Instead, they brushed her aside. "Ha! Can't even stand up for himself. Stupid mutt has to do it for him," the bigger one snarled. Roxanne tensed her expression, attempting to lean into the intimidation factor. She was about 9 feet tall, and these kids were probably barely even 5'6". Roxanne growled, "I'm talking to you." He turned around and rolled his eyes. "What? You can't hurt me. My dad's one of the technicians here." Roxanne rolled her eyes. This boy was Presley Riley's son. He couldn't care less about him. That's why he's mad. Roxanne realized as she thought about it. He's neglected. Roxanne smiled lightly. "Kid, Presley wouldn't help you." She didn't say that, though. She purposefully admitted it. "I know that. Hey, if you want to play with me or my brother, we can do it if you'd like." Roxanne noticed his face flush a little as the other one snickered behind him. He growled, "Do you think I'd want to hang out with a dumb, ugly—" Roxanne's audio sensors censored the next word due to its inappropriate nature, but she had seen the word on his lips. "Like you? Your brother's a better bet, but you? You're pathetic, stupid, and ugly. You make me sick." Roxanne was caught off guard, and she had caught herself overthinking again. Do kids really think that about me? Have they all been secretly laughing at me? I knew they seemed off. But she stopped herself before it went too far. She brushed her fingers through her dark hair and gave the boy a stern look. "Watch your language." He rolled his eyes. "I can do what I want, you fox." He finished with another cuss. "Trot," she corrected him, attempting to ignore the insult. "My last name is Fox-Trot." He spat at her. "Smart aleck." Roxanne tried to appear as if she were unfazed as the two little punks ran away. She was used to disguising her pain. "Are you all right, Rockstar?" she asked the small boy in front of her. Kneeling down, she scanned him, recognizing his name to be Lewis. He was only 5 years old, and the younger of the two bullies had been 11. Little brats, Roxanne thought to herself. "Yes, Miss Foxtrot." He grinned as he spilled more tears, barely able to get any words out between each cry. "Thank you." "Don't mention it, bud." Roxanne enjoyed the grin the boy had beamed at her, but the thoughts those boys had sparked still resisted in her mind. Memories of kids bullying her rearose. She tried to brush them aside to the best of her ability. Even now, a few hours later, Roxanne was still being bombarded by horrible memories. Angry parents, scared kids, the disgusted look in that woman's eyes. Ignore her. The monster will go away soon enough.